Okay, I'm back live. We're actually going to try to speak to one of them right now and find out. I'm probably going to show my credentials, see if maybe that will give me a little bit more input. Because I actually have been asked to write an article by a newsletter about this. How you doing, sir?
How are you, sir?
Out of curiosity, is this a euthanasia site or a test site?
I am not at liberty to disclose anything at this time. If you have any questions, you can contact the CDFA, the Public Information Officer line.
I have spoken with them and they are pretty much
Do you have
useless.
their card?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
Because I'm actually pressed for the visionary, so we're trying to get some information.
You can call the Public Information Officer. She can help you.
Okay?
And typical, we're not going to answer any question response. Even though I have identified myself as press, they're not responding at all. But as they are, well, my mother said that I didn't see it personally, but my mother says that the horses were actually running around because the chicken killers were over there looking for chickens. So they give a typical business card like they like to. Let me pull it out real quick. Typical business card. No answers, not going to give any answers. He was an investigator. He did have a badge on his belt, which was strictly said CDFA investigator. So, but they are pretty much a joke. You are right. I'm assuming because of the fact that they were able to lure us out of the area that they've already done what they're going to do. I said all I simply asked was two basic generic questions of, is this a euthanasia site or a test site? And their answer was, we're not telling you nothing. In a nutshell. So I don't know if there's a member here or not. I don't know. I don't know if this is their house or if it's the neighbor's house. All I know is that they said we were duped a little bit. We were let out of the area. We chased another set of vehicles. In my previous two videos actually, I was being let out of the area. So I'm assuming that was done intentionally, which was pretty smart on their part. I'm not gonna lie. They get us to follow them, but I didn't want to take a chance of them not going to somebody's property and not getting it. Again, this is in the city of Mariloma. We are on the corner, not the corner. We are on Ridgeview between 54th and 58th Street. In the city of Mariloma. We have two CHP units here. One's a regular unit, one's a canine unit, which why they need a canine unit is beyond me. There are horses on the property. It's a fairly large property. That's why, unfortunately, we're not really able to see much. The house is set back quite a ways off the street. It's probably a good 500 feet back at least, maybe more. There are horses on the property. According to my mother, they moments ago they were actually over here chasing chickens. So for them to be chasing chickens, I would assume that this is a euthanasia team, as there is a white pickup truck in the back of the driveway, back in the reverse position as if it backed down the driveway. So I'm assuming this is a kill team. If it was strictly a test team, I don't know why they would have a problem telling me that. There's nobody to speak with, otherwise I would. I've tried speaking to them, and it's just like talking to a tree. Their whole answer was speak to public information officer, and we know they're a joke, because they basically don't tell you diddly squat. Chris Boone, this is actually in the city of Mariloma. We are on the street that we are currently on is Ridgeview. We are between 54th and 58th. We are behind Troth Elementary School, which is actually right here. That is Troth Elementary School. I attempted to identify myself as press. I thought maybe that would garner me a little bit more input. And they're pretty much not even answering press questions. Because I did show them my press credentials. They were not even the least bit interested. I did identify myself as press, so I would say that's probably the reason why CHP is not harassing me, because of the fact that I have been identified as this. All they gave me was the standard no comment answer, basically. There's really nowhere to go around to, because of the property is so far set back. I'm not really sure where on Etiwanda I would be able to pull through to even possibly get behind the property. This is at least an acre lot property, minimum. Probably larger than that. The only major street behind here is Etiwanda, and unfortunately Etiwanda for the most part is businesses. I looked in the neighbor's yard and I didn't see any vehicles there, so I'm assuming there's nobody in the neighbor's yard to ask permission to go into their property to attempt to see what was going on. Again, I don't know if this is an SOB member's house. I know that in an earlier post there was a comment made that they were in front of her house or his house. I responded back to this as quickly as I could, as I was actually being led out of the area by a CHP vehicle and a black pickup truck. I believe it was a Dodge as well. This city is the city of Mariloma. I am on the corner, I keep saying corner, I'm not on the corner. We are on the street of Ridgeview, which is the first street west of Etiwanda. I'm sorry, east of Etiwanda. It's one street east of Etiwanda. I am between 54th and 58th. Yes, Cindy, this is Mariloma. This is actually, if you live in Mariloma, that is Troth Elementary School. So we are right across this, directly behind Troth Elementary School. There is two CHP units here. One is a K9 unit, one is not. Unfortunately, because the house is set back so far, I walked up to the into the driveway. There's trees blocking any view. You can hear chickens crying though. You can hear chickens crying in the background. It actually just stopped. But I am No, we weren't chasing the chickens. We were chasing the chicken killers. Me and my mother were going to head to Ontario. I was going to go buy a couple things. And on the way out of town, I saw a convoy of, actually those two cars are the cars I saw. But they were actually had a CHP unit in front of it, and they had a CHP unit behind them. I asked my mother, should we go follow them? She said yes. So then we took a left turn from Belgrave, turned left onto Etiwanda, which would have been heading southbound. I then caught up with them. We watched them park behind the Stater Brothers parking lot that is on Limelight and Etiwanda, which is the photo that was posted a little while ago. They were parked on the back side of it. We sat there, and as we were sitting there, I took a photo. Another CHP unit showed up. And when that CHP unit showed up, they talked for a few moments. The CHP unit and a black pickup truck then left. We made the decision to following the CHP unit and the black truck. They pretty much led us around town. They knew it was, I have no doubt it was an intentional tactic. It was an intentional to see if I would follow. They went directly behind this location on Etiwanda. They went up that street. Didn't turn here, but approximately one street up, the black truck pulled up beside CHP and let them know that we were following or that they were being followed. He then stayed in the right turn lane, because that's where he notified them from, was the right turn lane. I then got sandwiched between the CHP vehicle and the black truck. So I have no doubt that the black truck got my license plate. Unfortunately for them, where the vehicle is registered to, I no longer live. It is a vacant house. So they are going to be sorely disappointed. I haven't had time to notify DMV of my address change, and I sure in heck ain't going to do it now. We then went up Etiwanda. We crossed over Belgrave, which if you listen to my other videos, you'll hear that street name mentioned again. We crossed over Belgrave. We went all the way to Van Buren. Once we reached Van Buren, I pretty much made the black truck pass me. I then fell, the same tactic he used to get me between them, I used it back on him. I then fell in behind him. We went southbound on Van Buren towards Riverside. They attempted to speed up to get away from me, which I've got a V6, so you ain't gonna really run from me that well. We went to Rutile, which I'm sure many of you are familiar with. A lot of killings are talked about being on Lindsay. Lindsay is real close to Rutile. So I thought they were heading back to that area. The black truck then pretty much set at a left turn lane, turned his hazard lights on, and waited till the light turned just about red. At that point, I said, I'm gonna go. They're trying to play dirty, I'm gonna play dirty with them. Because if I get a ticket, they're gonna have to cite him too. And that's what amounted to my argument. Because there was nothing wrong with the vehicle. It was a tactic strictly to stop me from following them. We then went eastbound on Rutile, went all the way to Mission, turned right on Mission, which would have been north or southeast, I guess, technically. They then went to Pedley and got on the freeway. Pyrite. They went to Pyrite. They got on the 60 freeway and attempted to lead me out of the area altogether. I actually stopped chasing them once we got to the city of Riverside. At that point, I knew what they were up to, and not only that, I was low on gas. So I then broke off my pursuit, which I wish I had red and blue lights, because I was having a field day. It was funny, I've actually got my dogs with me, and my dogs were dead staring at the chicken killer's vehicle. I mean, it was a full-out pursuit. Everybody was paying attention. One time we actually got up to 80 miles an hour, so technically CHP and them should have received a ticket, but you know they're not going to. I broke my chase off at Main Street in Riverside and headed back when I got the notification that they were either near or in front of a member's house. I do not know which the case is. I do not know if this is a member's house. I do not know if the member lives to the left or the right of this house. I have not seen anyone come out, so I do not know. I can only guess at this point. As far as your question about school being in session, no, school is not in session. School is actually out in our area. Here comes movement. I don't know who this is. It's a lady with a blue-green sweater on. I've already asked. No, they wanted me to go ask if they are actually at two different properties. This lady right here just actually walked out of the property to the right of it as well. So they are actually on two different properties at the same time. She does not have any booties on. She is in her standard shoes. I watched her walk out of the address beyond it. Actually, I filmed it. With this lady right here in the blue green sweater. She's now currently putting booties on. We're actually getting approached right now, I'm assuming by CDFA.
Hey, I just checked with our PIO. She's available now if you want to give her a call.
All right, thank you.
Okay, thank you.
As I've identified myself as press, that's why they wouldn't really answer me. Not that they were going to answer me anyway. She just informed me that their public information officer is available and basically waiting for... They just informed me that their public information officer is in fact available and waiting for my phone call.
You get his phone number?
Yes, he gave me a business card. But I actually have been asked by a newsletter to write an article on this. That's why I do actually have press credentials. Not that I'm sure they're going to give me that much information even when I call. They, again, none of them identified themselves. The gentleman had a badge on. Oh, actually, we can see an individual. Let me see if I can zoom in enough. There's actually a chicken killer right there. He is actually now heading away from us. Oh. Again, this is the city of. Actually, we're just getting ready to say that right now. This is the city of Mariloma. We are on Ridgeview between 54th and 58th. We are actually, I'm zooming again because might be able to get a visual of him. There's actually an individual in a white setup lurking around that corner over there. This is on the city of Mariloma on on Ridgeview between 54th and 58th. I know it sounds like a big gap, but it's actually only 2 streets that come through this area. Because it's one of the streets that does not have much of an access from the outside. Yes. Yes, that crow does know up. Actually, ironically, when that individual with the white suit, who I'm having trouble tracking right now, came up, they got the heck out of Dodge. I haven't seen a firearm yet. I'm not saying they don't have one. More than likely they do. I haven't seen one personally. Again, like I said, unfortunately, the house is close to 500 feet back from the street. And I saw what I would assume they're actually on 2 different properties at this location, both neighbors. The only reason I say that is because the individual in the blue shirt right there came off of the neighbor's property. At the time, she did not have booties on. She then went to the back of that red vehicle with Nevada plates and put on a pair of booties. So she was not wearing these prior to approximately 4 minutes ago. There is 2 CHP units here. One is a regular CHP unit, as far as what you would see on the street. The second one in front of them is actually a K9 unit. Again, this is directly behind Croft Elementary School in the city of Mariloma. I've asked a couple of questions. Their standard answer is speak to the PIO, which is their public information officer, which we all know is pretty much a waste of time. I may give her a call in a little while just to see what that person has to say. I was given a business card and I was informed a few moments ago that the PIO is available and waiting for my phone call. Well, as far as I'm concerned, the PIO can wait. They don't want to answer questions. They don't want to answer questions while they're on location. Why do I want to call up and get political double talk? Which is what we get a whole lot of.
You're doing some kind of paperwork.
You can still hear chickens screaming in the background. They're nowhere near as loud as they were. It's actually gone a lot quieter. Which is ironic because this is what is considered a country community, if you will. Most everybody here has got birds, livestock. Well, I should take that back. Most everybody used to have birds. It's slowly but surely becoming quiet, which is sad because most of us actually want the animals here. This area is known for, again, livestock. There are horses, there are chickens, there are ducks, geese, swans, turkeys, all the good stuff that most people, when you choose this lifestyle want. The banging sound is actually coming somewhere off to the right. I'm assuming that somebody is doing some kind of home construction or some kind of construction work. It's coming like a couple houses from the right. But they are getting smarter with their tactics. They are trying to lead us out of the area. They said they were able to lead me approximately 15, 20 miles out of the way. I'm gonna try to go back down up the driveway and see if I can see anything else. Actually, I got a phone call for a moment there. I disconnected it. Wasn't important. Jim, I have asked. I did identify myself. Unlike they do not like to do so. Let me try to get a zoom in real quick here. If you see through the trees right there, that is actually a CDFA truck. So I'm assuming because it is in the backed up position, they are actually killing, I'm assuming. And as I've heard chickens loudly, and now it has pretty much gone quiet. I'm not saying that bodes well for the chickens that were here on the property. This is in the city of Mariloma. I am currently on Ridgeview between 54th and 58th Street. This is the property that we've actually established is the main property, but I had seen the individual in the blue sweater a moment ago that I showed come off this property without any kind of biosecurity gear at all. No booty, no vest, no suit, no nothing. Actually, I am going to say that they are not shooting by the horses, as the horses are on the front part of the property. The house is set back at least a good 500 feet, if not more, from the street itself. It's a good ways back there. That's why I'm not really able to get a good showing of the house itself. These horses are actually in the front of the property. You can see right there, a good deal away from any chickens. I don't know if they have horses in the back or not. I just know these two particular horses are not near any kind of shooting event that may be going on. Again, as I've been informed by my last location, basically, there goes my battery. So my battery will be dying out here momentarily. But as I've been informed that by Carrie, my last location, they are looking to arrest us. They are looking to cite us. And as I have not crossed the property line, which is right there, there's not a whole lot they can do to me. I am filming from the street, which they've all argued you're allowed to do. So technically they cannot do anything about this filming, which I know they're not happy about. I have approached them and asked them if this was a euthanasia or a testing site. The individual who was a CDFA investigator, according to his badge and his hat, failed to answer and said they are not at liberty to discuss what is going on at this location. Then they referred me to the PIO, which is the Public Information Officer. But this would be ironic. Again, the reason I came out to this location was because of the fact that I was told there was a member who had the vehicles in front of their property. I'm assuming this is a member's house, which is ironic because Carrie had them bust into their yard today earlier. Amy has been surrounded by them at a local park, which would be local to me. And now, if this is in fact a member's house, they are now making an appearance at an additional member's house. So I would say that if in fact this is a member's house, this would be a threefold attack upon SOB members. Again, I do not know for a fact that this is a SOB member's house. I do not know this. I am going on strictly an assumption. I do know for a fact that both Amy and Carrie have posted on SOB's website stating about them Amy about them surrounding her and Carrie about them being on her property. Actually, if we can zoom in, you see movement back there. The phone gets a little funky when it gets zooming in. But back there are individuals with beanies on, or not beanies, white suits on, and the orange booties on near that truck. For some reason I have lost my comment feed, so I have no idea if anybody's commenting anymore. Facebook Live has been messing up with me lately. One of my videos I was wearing a bunch of different masks. Why? I'm not exactly sure. Trying to bring it up again. There we go, I brought it up. I just made a comment, brought it up. Which is ironic. Every time I've gotten near the CHP vehicle, I've actually lost my feed for a moment. I don't know what's going on with that. But this is just in case you're just tuning in or whatnot, even though I am sounding a little redundant. I am in the city of Mare Loma. This is the city of, this is, looks like they might be done. There's an individual walking around up there without any kind of biosecurity equipment on at all in front of the truck. Another individual walking up to the truck right now with the biosecurity gear on. Appears to be placing bags in the back of the truck. So this would make it officially a kill site. So, by what I'm able to observe from where I am, this was not a test site, this was a euthanasia site. They did kill birds, which I had come to suspect as when I first rolled up, I could hear chickens clucking and crowing. Shortly, well, as of probably about 10 minutes ago, I could not hear them anymore. This area is actually now quiet as far as chickens go. It's kind of an eerie quiet. Because if you're familiar with this area at all, the sounds of animals and livestock is quite common. You don't typically drive up and down the street as a neighbor in the city without hearing birds. All you hear now is an eerie quiet that is just not normal for this area. Actually, it looks like the owner's coming up now. How you doing? I don't know who those individuals were. They did say hi. Hopefully they'll come back out, but I doubt it. So they're actually veering right. I don't know where that goes. Actually, it looks like these properties might be the same property. So that may be why they came down there without booties on. Yes, they are. They are the same property. Okay, that makes sense. So this is actually all one giant property. So the actual house is over here. There's the actual house. Okay, so now we've learned something new. So this is one giant property, which would make sense because I actually don't see a mailbox for the second location. It's just one giant property with two driveways side by side. Again, there was a Hispanic female, so you can assume this is an Hispanic household. So the chicken area is actually off to the left of the house proper, looking from the street in. Directionally wise, it would be south of the house. Well, I'm actually glad that I did not enter that other driveway then. Yes, this property is actually really, really large. Which is not surprisingly, really, because the houses on this particular block with basically businesses being butted onto them on the other side is not that big of a surprise when I come to think of it. This property is probably close to 3 acres, if not larger. Earlier when I thought it was just this one, I thought it was just an acre. But now actually finding out the second part is actually part of the property. This is a minimum of a 3 acre plot of land. Rose, I do not know. I said since I've been here, I have not seen anyone as far as, well, I've seen one individual feed the horse. I have not seen anyone else. I don't even know if there's anybody here besides the people who just now showed up. I have no idea. I really don't know if they're willing to talk or not, because again, now that I found out that driveway is now technically off limits, that's why the reason I hadn't got up it earlier, because there was no vehicles in the driveway. But there are vehicles in this driveway. So I actually originally thought these was two separate properties, but it's not. There's actually one giant property. I don't know if y'all can see them or not. Let me try to zoom in again. I know my zoom isn't the best. But back there by the truck, again, there are CDFA workers back there walking around in their white spaceman outfits. Appears that one or two of them are actually loading up bags. We actually might get a video of one of them coming out right now, as they are actually moving, individual is moving towards the southern end of the driveway, towards where the CDFA investigator was standing, who I spoke to momentarily, or a little while ago. But that is a CDFA pickup truck that we can see through the bush line there. I said, I don't know if this is a member's house or not. I do know that a call was put out to give the location. I showed up, have not been able to make contact with anybody in the house or on the property. Yeah. There's an actual individual waving at me right now in the car, driving by. No, there's no helicopters. Actually, there are no helicopters in the sky right now. Actually show you a visual of the sky. No helicopters in the area. There was a car that pulled up behind me momentarily ago. A couple females waved at me. Don't have no clue who they are, but they did wave at me. Again, there are 2 CHP units here. That is a K9 unit, and that is a regular unit that you would expect to see pulling you over on the street or the freeway. If you heard a rooster, I hope the rooster shuts up, because if they find him, they'll kill him. So my battery is fairly low. I'm about to lose my battery. I'm going to go charge it. If there's any more developments, I will go ahead and post it in a little while, or as it develops. So in the words of my typical sign-off, take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your animals. God bless until we see each other again.